Hello, my name is Harrison, and this is the third, fourth. I don't know which devlog this is. I can't remember. Anyway, it's been a while since I've uploaded a devlog for this game because I was on a 10-day vacation, and I got back and I wanted to have a lot to show. So I think I have quite a lot to show. First thing you'll notice, I've expanded on the level a bit, and there's this weird thing over here. I'll talk about that in a sec too. Um, so the main things I've been focusing on are I wanted to get like the first section of the game done, which this is the first section. I did a lot of things. I tweaked the flashlight, the player light, and how it reflects. I basically made it so it quote unquote reflects off the water. I got a big thing done, which was the level generating and I guess or becoming active and inactive depending on where the player is, which this is kind of a test area over here. I haven't applied it to this yet. I've added more models and stuff, most of them from the Unity Asset Store, ones that I could find that worked with it. Unfortunately, I did have a nice crate texture or crate model that and texture that I made for one of my classes, but I could find the texture, but I couldn't find the model, so I had to get some free ones from Unity. I wanted to use my own, but it is what it is. Anyway, I'll start with talking about the level generation, or becoming active and inactive, because I think that's a pretty cool thing that I was able to get figured out. So let me just set this up real quick. Okay, so I've set this up for the sake of showing this and making it simpler. Go faster. I made the speed on my controller like 10, so that way it's much faster. Or when I sprint. So basically, this is the path that I'm going to be walking with the player. This is going to be the player's perspective here. This is just a little test area to make sure my code works. So you'll see when I start up the game, the only areas. Oh god. Let me select FPS so you can see it better there. Okay, so if you look, wrong way. If you look up top there, you'll see where the player's moving. Now, as I turn the corner here, another part of the level will load in. And then eventually it'll start degenerating behind me once I get far enough. Like that. And so, basically the goal of this, and if I go back, I can go back and forth here. Basically the goal of this is just to, increase the performance, because if the game doesn't have to worry about, if it only has to worry about just what the player can see, then that makes performance a lot better for devices that may not be as good. So yeah, I'm hoping this helps with performance. Another thing I did when it comes to coding and stuff is, so the issue was that I had with how the light worked right now with my player's flashlight and stuff is that it couldn't reflect off the water. Like, when I look down and shine my light, you'll see it kind of reflects off the water now in a way. That didn't happen before. It was just, like, no interaction with it. So I don't know, really, how to code shaders, like, at all. I did some research on it, but I was like, I think it'll just be easier if I kind of create the illusion that it's reflecting off the water. So what I did, pretty stupid, but it works, is, let me find the, right, actually, no, I think I have it in a, here we go, yeah. This reflection thing here is a giant cylinder, and I put a see-through material on it, like I made like a see-through material. Now, this cylinder is, I'll show you the script actually. Actually, why don't I just grab the script on the cylinder. This is a pretty stupid way of doing this, and there's probably like a way easier way. But while the script is loading, basically I made it so the cylinder follows the player around constantly, stays at the position, and the cylinder's basically at like the perfect level with the water, where the light reflects off of this cylinder, so it looks like it's reflecting off of the water. Um, Now, I needed it to follow the player around, but one issue I had is when the player would jump, the cylinder would go up too, but I needed it to stay on water level. So what I did to fix that is probably a stupid way of doing it, but I couldn't figure out how to lock it on the y-axis, and there's probably a simple way of doing that. So what I ended up doing is, basically this here is what's making it move, follow the player. This right here, the reason this number is different is it kind of centers it, the cylinder better. And then this is just putting it on the right part of the y-axis. Now, I'll talk about this again in a sec. Now, I'm saying here, if the player's transform position, if the y position gets past this number, which is basic, so basically, this is saying if the player jumps or increases in height, then the position of the cylinder is going to equal the player's position, so basically this here, um, except it's also going to subtract this other vector 3, which is this right here. Now this float right here is basically calculating the player's y position. So it's going to be subtracting the player's y position from the y position of the cylinder. Now, you may be wondering what this is here. This is basically, I had to do quite a bit of testing to figure out what this number needed to be. It's a painful number, I guess, to say the very least. This is what it needs to subtract from the player's current y position in order for the cylinder to maintain the same y position whenever the player changes their y position, like jumps. I probably didn't explain that well. And then this is just, again, centering it. Again, probably a really stupid way of doing it, but you'll see here, if I bring this down, when the flashlight is off, there's no cylinder. When I turn it on, you'll see up in the scene view that there's a cylinder that turns on and off, and then it moves with the player. When I jump, it stays the same Y position. Anyway, really stupid way of doing it, but it works, so whatever. I'll probably tweak it in the future. Anyway, another thing I did, like I said earlier, is I got some models from the Unity asset store, such as a bunch of boxes, barrels. Again, I wish I could have used my own barrel texture and stuff, but I couldn't find it because I probably deleted it. I found some car models as well, and some skeleton models. I'll probably add more to spice up the environment. But, you know, it's the Wastelands, so I want it to be, like, a bunch of stuff dumped down, and I'm going to eventually add pipes on the top so you can see, like, where things have been dropped down. So, yeah, I have these nice car textures. Let me grab some batteries. Boink, boink. So, yeah. So, I just found this nice little pack with all these random car texture, or models, and they work. They're pretty simple, but I didn't want to model cars. I also found these barrels, and I actually added that animation to them to make them appears like they're floating up and down in the water. It's it's literally just up and down. I'll probably tweak it in the future, make it look more realistic, because right now it's just very linear. So yeah. Let's see. There's some boxes here, just kind of scattered randomly. I want to add like some broken wood chunks and stuff around the area too. What's cool too, and I'll probably make this way to escape from the monster in the future if I can find. Here we go. This like kind of truck here that's leaning, or van, you can kind of jump through. You can go through it, which is kind of cool, and climb up here. So I might even add some batteries in here or something too. I also completely changed the door script, how it worked, because it was super stupid how it worked. Oh yeah, here's some bones. I won't go into too much how I made it more efficient, but it just is better now. That's all you need to know. This I did make. It looks horrible because I made it in Blender, and I'm used to 3ds Max, but I'm trying to learn Blender now. Anyway, this is basically a generator holder, I guess. I don't know. It's weird looking. I'll probably remodel it, but I just wanted something rather than a stupid box. It's not even textured either. Like, I haven't even UV unwrapped it or anything, because I actually don't know how to do that in Blender yet. Put the generator in, door opens. And now we're on to this other area, which is new. I haven't shown you yet. Some floating barrels there. Player will go over here. This is when, like, I want there to be puzzles in this game. This is kind of the first, I guess, quote-unquote puzzle. There's dead man here. Anyway, you read this, day 23. God, I wish I hadn't jumped. What was I thinking? I've been struggling to leave this area. There are maze-like tunnels on the left, and I can't find a power source for the door. I fear I will soon run out of clean water and food. So, I guess it technically really doesn't tell you, actually. I need to edit that. I want it to say, like you said, maze-like areas to the left. I want it to also say there's, like, a little island to the on the far left corner um, as well. But basically, the generator for this next door is. Oh yeah, I forgot. I added in that sound trigger. The generator for this next door is like hidden over there, kind of behind a rock. I should have been quiet. I don't know if you heard the roar, but when you walk kind of through here, I wanted it to trigger like the. Oh, my flashlight ran out of batteries. Amazing. I wanted it to trigger a like roar sound effect um, from the monster, so which it did. But I'll demonstrate. I'll show it again in a bit. Actually, why don't I just grab the player, move him over here, and show you again. And also, I don't know why I have the battery starting so low. Battery percent should be 100, so I can, not have to worry about running out. Okay. I'm actually going to maximize this game, too. Alright. So anyway, when I walk through... God, where am I facing? Where am I? Right there. There's like a little trigger here which triggers that audio, which, believe it or not, that's actually my friend screaming really loudly, but I messed with the pitch and stuff to make it sound like a roar. Anyway, to the left here, there's basically this maze-like path, and this is the first area of the game that the player doesn't actually need to explore. It's kind of like a... Oops, that's the door. Never, wait, where the... Sorry, I'm getting lost in my own level design. Let me just bring player over to here. There we go. Okay, this is the first, like, area that the player doesn't really need to explore. It's just kind of there, but there are some, like, elements to the story that they can figure out and stuff like that. Okay, so if they go over here to the left, I've actually, this paper over here, included some of the writing from my novel, that this little short story that this, whole game is based off of. So little skelly boy here, how you doing? So on this, it says, his scream stopped just in time for me to hear his bones crack and the tearing of his flesh. He's still alive, though. He gasps for air and tries to say something. Please, no. He gurgles his blood. His plea turns into a whimper. So that actually is part of my uh, book that I wrote, a little short story. So, they can get some, I guess, lore, although that doesn't really have lore, it's just kind of about the monster. Which, at this point in the game, the monster will not be introduced yet. I kind of want to build up tension. But yeah, if you keep exploring, there's other papers you can find that have part of the story on it. Like over here, too. There's the batteries. I point the light beam up, and I'm surprised to see far above my head circular openings in the ceiling. They look like enormous pipes. Maybe that's where we all came from. So, again, I don't have pipes in the ceilings yet, but I will add those. So yeah, that's mainly what I've done. I'm trying to think if I've left anything out there. I'll show you this other door here, I guess. The second door, which leads to nothing at the moment. But the door's over that way. Over here is another island, just like a truck here with a battery in it. If the player looks behind this rock here, there's the next generator. We can come over here. And just a sec, when I find the door, there it is. They can open this door. Yoink! I said yoink! Which leads to the next area that I have not added in yet. I think now I'll probably end this devlog with just some me not talking and some gameplay of me just going through what I've made so far. And I actually will, even though the enemy won't be in this part of the level, I guess I will turn it on and just, why not put it in there just for fun. Just to add to the gameplay, right? Which, yeah, right now I only have it set up so the enemy can wander over here, and just for the sake of, which won't be a thing. The first time the player meets the enemy, actually, will probably be over in this section after this little, not tutorial area, I don't want to say, but introduction area, so they can get, like, the mechanics down, and kind of build up some tension. But, yeah, for this, like, quiet little gameplay I'm going to do, I'll be avoiding the enemy over in this area, and then I'll probably come back to die from it so you can see the jump scare and stuff, which I still have not tweaked the jump scare, but I plan to do that, next, actually, after I finish decorating the area. Which reminds me, I found this really cool thing called Trello. It's basically like a to-do list thing. It's been really useful. So I have like a thing here that says things I might do. So might add to the game. Not sure if I want it in yet. To do. So what I need to do. Doing. So decorating the area, and then stuff I have done. So and then I've like the colors mean how difficult it is. stuff like that. But there's actually a lot more stuff I need to do. This is just like the most recent things I need to do. So yeah, it's been useful. Anyway, I'll leave you now with just some quiet gameplay.